Good morning, everybody. How is it going? Today we're playing Naga Siren. We're going into the top lane. This was single draft, and this is a replay. Now let me go ahead and explain why we're doing a replay today and why this was single draft, because this wasn't just single draft, this was also low priority. Alright, and so you guys know that Mickey had some complications with her teeth and having her wisdom teeth pulled out, and that we went to a better doctor. When was it? Not yesterday, 2 days ago. Right, on Thursday we went to a better doctor. And that all went great. Right, like we go to the doctor, it's an amazing clinic, right, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I went there and I was already just like blown away. We talk to our doctor, he's super nice, right, super understanding. He's like, this really sucks what happened to you. We're gonna schedule a surgery in an hour. We're gonna put you to sleep. You're not gonna notice anything. We'll get the teeth out. It's gonna take 20 minutes. And it did. It only took 20 minutes. All the teeth were out. Everything went smooth. Everything went perfect. And she's fine now, right? So I take her home. And, well, actually probably want to put this on last hits. I'm not really sure. Alright, but I take her home and I'm just like, alright, you know what? I guess everything is good from here, and I just kind of like take care of her and everything. And then yesterday, I make sure she has everything she needs, and then I ask her if it's alright if I go and stream. She says yes. So I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, it's not gonna be for long, because I still want to like do a little bit of a stream, right? Like, because I hadn't for 2 days at that point. And so I stream. I try to play some Dota, right? And then after a little while, I play one game, which all goes well there. And I play the second game, and I hear her crying outside of my room. So I go out, and I talk to her, and I see what's up, and all of that. At that point, it became really, really obvious to me that, no, I shouldn't have streamed. And she still needs me. Alright, she needs me to take care of her. So at that point, I decide to stop the stream. The problem with that is I am already in a game and I need to abandon that game. There was no way to finish the game in time because the game just started, right? It was like 3 minutes into the game at most. So there wasn't really anything I can do. So I abandoned the game and I get low priority for it. Now, low priority is something I don't usually have. I've had it a few times before, you know, mostly because of disconnects that were really out of my control. I don't ever rage quit. It's not something I do. But yeah, it was low priority. Now, I don't really like reporting low priority. By the way, I called that out. I'm like, Spirit Breaker's coming mid. He's coming mid. Go back. Husker goes back. Everything ends up fine. But I can't really record low priority. It's really difficult for me to record low priority because I'm always trying to get you guys cool, interesting games, right? Something that is actually fun to watch. However, low priority, as soon as the game goes one particular direction, teams tend to just leave, right? They just abandon the game. And that is something I'm unhappy about. By the way, this is where I skill my net and I'm like, okay, alright, easy kill, easy kill, easy kill. Lina didn't skill her stun. Yeah, at this point she hadn't skilled her stun. She's got Fiery Soul and Dragon Slave, and so we couldn't get that kill. That would have been an easy kill if she just had skilled her stun. So please, Lina players, aspiring Lina players, skill your stun early if you're playing a support Lina. If you're playing a carry mid Lina, you can totally go for the build that the Lina's going for right here with the Dragon Slave and the Fiery Soul. It's fine then, but if you're playing support, Fiery Soul really doesn't do much. You should max out your spells. But anyway, right? So yesterday I like leave the game, I take care of her, she's fine after a little while, you know. I put her to sleep. Well, actually that sounds bad, but you know, like I'm around for her until she eventually falls asleep, and then as she falls asleep, I don't really see any reason to be there anymore. Like, I still am around for a little while. I kind of like waited for half an hour if she's gonna wake up again, but she didn't. So I'm just like, alright, she's sleeping now. So I guess I'm just gonna go and get rid of my low priority, which at that point I know I have. And then again, I don't really like recording low priority, so I just decided to stream it. However, This game of low priority ended up being one of the best games I've played in a long time. This was a really cool game with lots of really well executed fights, some not well executed fights, back and forth, high action. You don't know who is going to win until the last second, I promise you. Like, it's super fucking close. This is a really, really good game, and I was a little bit annoyed that I didn't record it, and so I decided to just do like a post-game commentary like this, so I get to show it to you anyway. And, yeah. Also, Lina misses another stun. This was not one of those well-executed fights. And there he goes. He gets out just fine. Yeah, I tried to get another E in on him, but that just wouldn't happen. So yeah, in my single draft pool, I got the Naga Siren, right? Since this is a low-priority game. And, decided to play Naga Siren. Again, this game was crazy good. Like, I really, really enjoyed playing this game. I think I did alright. Again, I'm not the best Naga Siren player in the world. Micromanagement is probably my weakest suit in Dota. Right, I'm not good at micromanagement. I never claim that. I would never claim that because I'm just not good at it. Right, but Naga Siren is a hero that I am somewhat familiar with and I do alright with. So, yeah, anyway, this is a cool game. I wanted to show it to you, and here we are. Sorry for the long backstory, I suppose, but I hope that's alright. Again, to just clarify, because, like, I noticed a lot of people were worried last night on stream. Mickey is fine. Today, she's actually feeling a lot better than yesterday, right? Which, to me, just tells me she's healing. She's saying her mouth itches, which, again, tells me she's healing. The surgery went perfectly fine. She's not in a ton of pain, and a little bit, of course, but it's fine. She looks like a bit like a chipmunk right now, but I mean, that's to be expected. And yeah, all around, everything is good. Going to that more specialized doctor ended up working out perfectly. Was fucking fantastic. I am definitely gonna go to that doctor when I get my wisdom teeth out, which is something I have to do in the future, but I really do not want to do. So, yeah. Anyway, so Naga Siren, in this game I didn't really see a reason. Yeah, so right there I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna use my net until the Lina hits her stun. Because like, I have trusted her to hit stuns before, she hasn't. So I'm just like, oh well, like to hit a stun on a netted target, and she didn't. So I'm just like, maybe it will work like this, right? But no, it didn't. But I'm just going for the regular Naga style of like Radiance, Octarine Core. I didn't really see a reason to change it up, and again, I didn't really think at this point that this game was gonna go on YouTube. I just thought this was gonna be a really quick one-sided game, where a team ends up leaving. There are no leavers in this game. This right here, I screw up. This is a mistake from me. I should have started this by casting my E, because the E reduces armor. That means my 2 attacks, I believe, that I got in would have mattered more. I was trying to sneak the E in between attacks, which would still have worked if I had snuck it in after the first hit. That would have still been alright. What I did is I snuck it in after the second, which I didn't get in a third, which was a mistake. So, definitely a misplay from my end there. It let the Spirit Breaker get away. I mean, there's a chance he still would have survived, right? It didn't guarantee the kill, I don't think, but it definitely made it a lot more likely, right? So, oh well, what can you do, right? Mistakes were made. It's not really an important kill. Naga Siren doesn't rely a lot on kills for her money. And Spirit Breaker is not necessarily a hero that I care much about shutting down, right? Spirit Breaker is a hero that usually always has about the exact same impact on a game. It's just what he does, right? He does this much and no more or no less. So yeah, anyway. I'm still just farming up at the top, you know, doing my Naga stuff. I got myself the mana boots. I like early mana boots on Naga. You get the mana boots, you later on disassemble them, build them into an Octarine. They help you with farming a ton. You can spam your E, you can start using your illusions a lot earlier on. Yeah. Right, just having upgraded mana boots, I think, is a pretty good idea. Instead of just keeping it at brown boots. If you just go brown boots and rush Radiance from there, from my experience, you end up in a situation where you're just really weak. Like, having that additional mana pool from the mana boots really does matter. It's pretty powerful. Anyway, right here is something that quite annoys me a lot, and it happens in a lot of my games. And that is that my supports abandon me. Right, so, supports need to really be in lane. Like, this is the most important thing. the #1 job you have as a support is be in lane for your carry. This right here is where I am so, like, I'm alone against this Spirit Breaker, completely alone. So I decide to just sing and TP home, because I frankly didn't have anything I could do there. There was a chance he kills me just because it's Spirit Breaker. You never know how many bashes he's gonna get, and I wasn't willing to risk that. But something you really need to do as a support in Dota is make sure that your safe lane carry, if it's the kind, well, okay, it doesn't always apply, right? You sometimes have a safe lane carry that does fine on his own. Let's say Ursa is your safe lane carry and you're going up against Tidehunter, right, as the off lane. In that scenario, you can leave the Ursa alone. He's gonna be fine, right? Like, Ursa beats up Tidehunter. It's not a problem. However, in a scenario like this, where Spirit Breaker against Naga, that's a little bit more difficult, right? Especially since it's so easy to just, like, put one additional hero there and take down the Naga Siren. And then, not only is it that Naga, you know, is not as difficult to take down as an Ursa would be. Well, Ursa is actually, I think, actually less tanky than Naga, but, you know, he fights better early on. Naga doesn't really fight that well early on, so she can't really defend herself. With Ursa, if you gank an Ursa, there's always a risk associated with it that the Ursa will just turn around and eat your face. But with Naga, there isn't really any risk, so people can just do it pretty freely, right? Alright. But yeah, this is me starting to get my my grasp on micromanagement. I hadn't played Naga in a bit, so I needed to, like, get used to it first. But as I was saying, right, it's kind of important that your carry is safe, right? That's the whole point. That is what you do, right? That's why you roam into the mid, to shut down the enemy mid, to make sure your position 1, your safe lane carry, gets money. That's why you pull, to make sure the enemy off lane doesn't get powerful, so your safe lane carry has a bigger chance of getting powerful. It also pulls the creep wave back, so it's easier to last it, right? That is why you stand in lane and harass. Everything you do as that support, as that safe lane support, is about getting the safe lane carry farmed. That is the most important thing. Nothing else really matters, right? Nothing else you do really is important, because everything leads to this ultimate goal of making sure the safe lane carry gets money. And it's something I actually notice a lot, where, or like happens to me a lot, where the supports, they just leave, right? Like, essentially what happens is they think they are comfortable with the lane, right? They're like, okay, this lane is won. The problem is a lane doesn't stay won, right? Yes, you won the lane while you guys were there, but I am Naga. I am not powerful yet. I've got mana boots. I can farm a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to fight a gank squad. I just cannot do that. The only thing I can really do is just keep farming. So if you leave me, it's not going to be a case of, well, this lane is already won, it's just going to stay won. No. Enemies will all of a sudden start taking over again, and my farm will be reduced, and that's something you need to avoid. Again, this happens a lot to me, and I kind of thought it might be a decent thing to bring up and mention. It is really, really, really important to make sure your lane stays won. Don't just win it once, but keep it won. Okay? I know it sounds a bit silly, but it's really actually quite important. Alright, at this point I'm just farming, right? There's the gyrocopter, which is a little bit scary. Lina misses another stun. Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, I wasn't particularly happy about that. I see the Spirit Breaker come in. I decide to sleep. I don't really want to risk anything, right? I know the gyrocopter is also here, and I see the Pudge incoming, right? I just had like a feeling there's gonna be more here, right? The Spirit Breaker is coming, gyrocopter's already here. There's probably gonna be one more hero, and then I see the Pudge. Well, after I used to sleep, but I see the Pudge, and I'm just like, yeah, I think that sleep was a good call. And I still kind of stick to that, right? And you can see now the Bane is even at the top. There were a lot of heroes coming there. A lot of heroes were actually coming to gank me right there. And that sleep kept me safe. And that's kind of like, you know, one of the things you gotta do as Naga. You gotta stay safe. Anyway, this is where I should use my E much earlier. It's actually kind of interesting to watch, like, the replay of something like this, you know? I don't usually do that. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of play the game and don't really spend too much time practicing. I found it a bit surprising that I wasn't within the fountain range there. Honestly, I still find that a bit surprising. You know, it seems like I should be, but oh well. But yeah, like this early on is still me kind of getting a grasp on how to play Naga here. You know, again, hadn't played her in a bit. And grinding up to my Radiance. My goal was a 17-minute Radiance. Right, 17 minutes seems reasonable. It's not the best in the world, but it's definitely not the worst. And it's going to be fine. Right, it's going to definitely be good enough. I'm level 10 now. I decided to go with the mana. Because, like, Naga Siren actually uses a lot of mana. And usually you end up pretty tanky. Like, not having enough of an HP pool is not really too much of a problem. But yeah, okay, so this has me greedy. I see that Gyrocopter there with, like, no HP. And I'm like, I'm full HP. I kind of want to get this kill. Right, so like I stick around, but I can't do it on my own because the Bane is here. Nina misses another stun, which is a problem. But then I see the Gyrocopter, and he just straight runs into me. So we take him down super quick. There is the Spirit Breaker. You know, he's not going to be able to do anything on his own. Like, he doesn't really have the tools for that. And then we also have a Pudge there. So I just send the illusions in there. Try to secure that kill. Don't quite get it. Because of the deny, which is of course entirely chance-based. There's nothing I can do about that. Just like, god damn it, Pudge. Like, he just denies that, and then that's the end of it. But I was playing it safe there. Like, I think Pudge has a lot of potential AoE damage, you know. There's always a chance of the Magnus coming in, because this fight was definitely moving towards the mid lane. And then, of course, Spirit Breaker at any point can decide to just go for me. And Spirit Breaker does have a decent chunk of burst, you know. Like, at that point, he will probably... Like, he hadn't used his ultimate yet when I was playing, you know, kind of keep away. And he had his charge, almost certainly, in a few seconds. He could probably ultimate into charge me. And then if you combine that with a little bit of rot damage, a shockwave RP, I'm dead. Something I was trying to avoid. I'm really trying to, like, play the survival game as much as I can, right? I'm not really keen on fighting fights where I could potentially die. So I do exactly that, right? Like, I keep just farming, I stay away, I'm just at the top lane. I'm not really happy about it. Like, I'm a little scared there. And we've got a Barathum charging me. So this is, of course, a problem. I've got invisibility, though, which is nice. And I used the sleep. Now, honestly, I think this sleep was prematurely. I don't agree with this sleep in retro perspective, right? I think this sleep was definitely me going in a little bit too hard on that. However, I even saw that at the time. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have slept right there, because I have invisibility, I have the net. Like, I should be fine. Especially knowing how many people are on the mid lane. Right, there's almost no way they can actually kill me. But I didn't want to risk it, because with Barathum, there's always a chance of just getting permabashed. And I had my relic. Right, like, my relic was ready, and I wasn't really too keen on losing that right there. That doesn't sound good. Like, I want to have my relic. This is what I've been grinding up to. I didn't quite get the 17-minute Radiance I was looking for, but I got the 17-minute relic, which is close enough, right? Alright, but I got my relic. That's what I wanted. So, you know, I was kind of like, alright, I guess I'll just sleep right there. Anyway, gonna go in and just continue farming here. This is always the plan with Naga, right? Like, you get yourself the Radiance, you get yourself TP boots, and then you start doing things. But before that, you're just kind of farming a lot. That's fine. You're good at it. Right? Like, she's good at farming. There's no reason to not just do that. Right? Like, if you're good at something, well, keep doing it. Right? Alright, we've got the Gyrocopter up at the top, which, by the way, I have no idea he's here. I have no idea. No clue. Right? Oh, there we go. My team finds him. Actually, is he invisible or something? No. My team knows he's there, but with the Huskar around, I'm not really too worried. Again, I'm not keen on fighting. Don't care. That's the thing. I don't have Radiance yet. I don't really want to fight. I don't want to engage. Like, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna keep grinding. That's the thing. I don't really care about anything else. Now, this is definitely a play I'm not happy about. This is one of the big mistakes I make in this game. Because I'm so close to my Radiance, I get greedy. I want this. And then there's the Gyro, Fiend's Grip. I think you guys can see where this is going. I don't have sleep ready. There's nothing I can do. I just go down. Even if I had sleep, I would have still just died. Right, like, even if I had sleep, I would have still just dropped. And then that's that. So, I die kind of an unnecessary death right there. This was just purely me getting greedy because I was so close to the Radiance and I really wanted it. And as a result I die, which is unfortunate because, you know, the Magnus is already getting really, really powerful, as you can see. He's got a Shadow Blade, he's got an Echo Saber, but he's just grinding up. And he's grinding up fast. He's actually got much more net worth than me, which is scary. Magnus, of course, not the most common, like, right-click carry, late-game carry, but he can definitely do it. He can definitely be quite scary. Anyway, we're 20 minutes into the video. If you enjoyed it so far, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. We'll definitely appreciate that. I hope this is entertaining to you, right? Like, to me, this time is actually passing like it's nothing, right? Like it's going by in a heartbeat. I hope it's the same for you. I'm really enjoying this, you know. Usually I have to concentrate so much on my game. I can't concentrate as much on my commentary, but right now I just get to talk. This is awesome. I really like it. But yeah, I've got my relic. So at this point, I'm just like super unhappy about that death. Right, that's just really upsetting. That is just really upsetting that I didn't, that I died right there. Like, I got so close to the Radiance and then just got shut down right before I got there. But I now basically have it. Right, I now basically have it. My team is still fighting, and I'm still abandoning my team, but Naga at this point just can't help. Like, this is one of the difficulties with the hero. Right, this is why people like to play Alchemist as the Radiance carry instead. Because Alchemist just comes online much, much quicker, right? And Alchemist may carry a lot less late game power, but he just comes online quicker and he can help you out quicker. Naga just doesn't really bring that to the table. She just cannot really help. And that's a problem. Alright, you can see on the minimap there's a Magnus right on top of me. But I'm just gonna sleep him. No, maybe not. Okay, this was actually, yeah, I now remember. This was a mistake. I should have just left him. After that last encounter, I was unhappy about not having my sleep ready for it. Because I was trying to save it right there, which is a mistake. Especially since it's level 2 sleep now. Level 2 sleep only got 2 minutes cooldown. It's definitely something you can use much more frequently. It's funny, the sleep is actually an ability that is really important to get the higher levels of as Naga, because the cooldown reduction matters a lot. So I die again. And 2 deaths in a row never feels good, right? That is the worst feeling in Dota. Dying twice in a row, oh, that's no fun. Nah, who likes that, man? That is terrible. But yeah, it's alright, I guess. I got my Radiance, and that's really the big thing. Right now that I have Radiance, I can really start grinding up. I can really start getting a lot more money. And yeah, so I immediately just go into the lane again. You know, just get straight back to it. Next up, I like getting the TP boots. TP boots just allow you to farm so well. You know, you can reach all around the map. You have access to every single creep on the map with Naga Siren. TP boots just accelerate that. It's really, really, really strong. Right? TP boots on Naga is a kind of a must-have anyway. It's kind of debatable if you want to get it right after the Radiance, right? But it's actually not even like that big of a debate, honestly. Like, there are people that get TP boots before the Radiance, right? They're just like TP boots so much they get them straight up. I don't really agree with that. I think the Radiance is more important. However, it just goes to show that TP boots are an important part of this build. But yeah, we're almost level 15. You know, getting there. Getting strong, getting powerful. And now that we have the Radiance, we can definitely help out a little bit. You know, not a crazy amount by any means. I'm still gonna try to play it safe. Got an arrow flying that misses, which was surprising to me. That arrow seemed like it should have hit. But yeah, you know, just kind of coming in, helping out a bit, getting a few hits in. Nothing too scary, nothing too dangerous. But just being a little bit of an annoyance, you know, just like right there. I'm sending in the illusions to spread a little bit of damage, push down the creep wave, you know, the usual Naga stuff. And then we have a push at the bottom. Right, I see the Magnus up at the top, I know there's a bunch of heroes in the mid lane. There's really no reason for me to be afraid right now. Of course, Spirit Breaker is always a problem. I guess the thing, Spirit Breaker will always be able to catch you out. But I should be alright here. Although, obviously I'm getting charged. It's actually really interesting to see, like, when the times were when I got charged. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna get ultimated. Magnus is here. And the sleep comes out. And I immediately TP home. This happens a lot this game, right? Like, I get jumped, sleep, TP home instantly, right? I'm not putting up with that shit. But hey, on the upside, we did kill the Barafum in response. I managed to survive, right? And that fight is actually still happening with me not really helping out them. It's definitely something I could have done, honestly. That is definitely something I should have done right there. I should have micromanaged my illusions at the bottom to help out a bit more, but oh well. Because they do have Radiance, right? Not just Radiance, I can also apply the E. So there's definitely some wasted potential there. Should have helped out my team a little bit more, but alright. So the way I like to micromanage these illusions is essentially I box all of them, and then I click somewhere, shift, A move, like, okay, so I click near where creeps are going to be, and then shift A move with that, which is going to make it so the illusion walks there, and then as soon as it walks there, it will attack anything within range, which results in exactly what I'm going for, farming only when the illusions actually reach the point. Because of the Radiance, oftentimes they pull all sorts of creep camps around them, and that's not something I'm actually looking for, right? I don't want them to constantly be pulling creep camps. Because like each illusion kind of gets their own creep camp to take care of. Then, after I have done that, I shift, click on one illusion, which deselects it. So my box that I had earlier, which had all 3 illusions in it, now only has 2. I do the same thing where I click somewhere and then shift A move into the creeps at a different location. Do another shift click on another illusion, deselecting it. Making it so I only have 1 illusion left, and I do that same thing again. As a result, I can very easily micromanage all of the illusions to go into camps and clear out the camps. Which is really all I'm going for. This, by the way, was me just being an idiot. I bought TP boots without disassembling my boots first, because in my head it's just like, oh, the game will get it. The game didn't get it. Wasted 500 gold. It's not that big of a deal. It's a bit annoying. It's not even 500, it's 250 gold, right? Like, and considering Naga farms really quick, it definitely is it's annoying, right? It's not a huge deal though, so whatever. And I just go ahead and stop working on my Octarine core. At this point, it's of course debatable what you want to go for. If you feel like early fighting is more important, you can go for the Diffuser Blade, you can go for you know, maybe the Manta style. I could even go for the Heart. I personally like getting the Octarine core because it does let me farm even more. It gives me some survivability, which is what I was going for, right? I wanted to stay alive more. The Lina stuns nothing. I don't really know where that one was going, but I go in and earn that kill really quick. We've got the Putch running away. He is earned up though, trying to hide behind these trees. Won't happen, but there's Magnus. And Magnus RPs us, does massive cleave damage. We're still alright though, right? Like, we're still actually doing fine. The Omni Knight keeps us alive with a well-timed ultimate. Luckily, he didn't get RP'd, and so in the end, we actually managed to come out ahead in that fight. We lose the Mirana, but honestly, the Mirana is a small price to pay for what could have happened. Right, that could have been a complete disaster, and I'm just happy it didn't turn out that way. Right, so yeah, Magnus again. Magnus is scary at this point. He's still got the highest net worth in the game. He went for Battle Fury, right? There's actually a cool thing about this being a replay. I can show you that. Magnus went for Battle Fury. He's now going for MKB. This man is dealing a lot of damage, and it is getting scary. Right, like, that's the thing. You saw it in that fight. If the Omni Knight wasn't there, we would have all died. We would have just been dead. Like, that would have just been the end of it. And that's kind of not really what we're going for, right? So that's a little bit of a problem like that. But yeah, I just kind of farm around the jungle now, you know, like getting powerful as much as I can, getting as many creeps as possible, working on that Octarine core. You know, we want that. It's strong. It does a lot. It helps you. Now I see a shrine. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Shrine sounds good. Shrine sounds good. Although that is a bit worrisome. And they killed the Mirana. So at this point, it's actually like quite a lead for the Radiant here. You know, like, it's not super huge. But the thing there is that I am keeping up well. Right? Like, I'm actually doing really, really well. So that's kind of negating that a little bit, making it less worse for our team. Or less bad for our team. But it's still a bit of a problem. We also have the Omni Knight and Huskar, which are actually keeping up decently as well. So all around, it's... I don't know. We are doing fine, I suppose. Right? There's just like a little bit of a gap that is becoming a problem. That is that They kind of have 2 heroes that are significantly farmed. We only have 1. And if that increases, that gap, then we're gonna be in trouble. And 2 more of our guys go down. And that's just getting really scary. So at this point I'm worried. Right, at this point I'm really worried. Because they're starting to push down our base here. I don't really have the tools to deal with it. Alright, I'm sending some illusions to do some damage. We got an arrow on the Magnus. Omni Knight is here too, but Mirana just starts dying, you know. I want to kill that Magnus. He's rooted up, but then I get hooked. And I gotta sleep. I just gotta sleep. TP out. And this is where I shouted my team to go back. Right, but Mirana stuck around a little bit too long and she goes down. It's a bit unfortunate, but as selfish as that sounds, better Mirana than me. Right, like it's just better for the Mirana to die than it is if I die. So I had to do that. I couldn't risk the Pudge stunning me for too long so that the Barafoom connects with a charge and they get a whole bunch of follow-up on me and take me down. Because if I die right there, there's a good chance it's game. We find the Pudge though, and Pudge should actually just straight up go down, right? There's not much he can do here. Yeah, he gets picked off. The Omni Knight takes the kill. We've got the cooldown coming out, slowing us, but that's about all it does, right? They don't really have any follow-up at this stage. Omni Knight is chasing somebody down over there. In the meantime, I'm still looking for the gyrocopter. He's probably just gonna be able to get out though. You know, gyrocopter, gyrocopter's kind of a little bit quick. Hello, am I getting a cat? Oh, there's another cat. There's a white cat. All right. Yeah, she's doing much better. She's starting to let the cats in and such. So, oh shit! And this is fucking scary, man. Like, did you see how much fucking damage that guy did? Like, holy shit! And at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh fucking shit! Oh no, go to the shrine! No, net him! Oh no! Motherfucker. Oh well. So Barafoom tries to TP out, and he gets it. Which is actually a little bit unbelievable, but yeah, the Barafoom managed to dive our base, kill me, and then escape. Which is just a little bit dumb. Yeah, that's for sure. And I don't quite manage to finish up my Octarine core. I was so close to. What I should have done there is I should have activated the shrine. Right, but I just panicked. I did not expect the Spirit Breaker to come there. That just wasn't something that I thought a possibility. Right, I'm just like, he's not gonna dive our base. Like, there's no way. No fucking way. No, he did. And he got away with it too. At this point, it's starting to look really grim. You can see they are hit by a bit. Right, like a really good chunk.
The prize is mine.
A really good chunk. Oh well. Oh no, there's a fight up top. Yeah, Huskar goes down. Lena is gonna die too. Actually, she's still doing alright. Goes invisible, ends up being fine. Yeah, so in the end, we only lose the Huskar, but we have a lot of these, like, single-person deaths. A lot more than I would really like there to be. At this point, my priority is just finish up the Octarine, because having a finished Octarine is just... It's just a huge upgrade from having the parts. Right, like, it gives you 2 effects that don't exist beforehand. Right, like, if you finish up a Butterfly, you just get a better version of the Butterfly. So, like, you know, you get more attack speed and more, you know, agility and more evasion. Right, like, you get a little bit more of everything. But with Octarine Core, you go from having no cooldown reduction or spell lifesteal to having quite a bit. Alright, so that's kind of one of those things. But anyway, with Octarine Core, I feel a lot more confident in fighting. That was a nice hook out. I net up the Spirit Break and we're going to be able to just quickly secure that kill. He goes down. This is where I use an offensive sleep. Probably the... Yeah, no, I think that's the first offensive sleep of the game. So I toss this thing out there. We connect with the stun on the Pudge. We connect with the stun on the Bane. Something I found funny about this is that I actually was the one that timed the stuns on the Pudge. If my team was just waiting for the song to end, then they would have actually have missed because I ended the song early. But oh well. I mean, it's not really a big deal, right? But I don't know. I just kind of found that a little bit amusing. Because at this point, we were joking about the Lina not hitting a stun in the entire game. That's of course not true, right? She's hit quite a few, just not when I was around. Oh, there's the Magnus. This is actually pretty big, you know? We catch him out. Like, we can actually just straight up kill him here. He overextended and goes down. Instant buyback, though, and that is scary. You know, like, the rest of the team is also now coming back into the fight here. And, that kind of has me a little bit worried. Anyway, about the talents, I want to quickly talk about the talents. So I think, honestly, at level 10, 250 mana is most certainly better than 125 health. Right? Because actually you really need mana as Naga. You use a lot of it. It's just a big deal. So the mana you get from that is always going to be useful. This right here is where I decide to just sleep and I shout TP! 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 And then I start my own TP a little bit later than I really want to, right? Because I'm just like shouting at my team to TP out. I want to get them out of there. The Omni Knight does it. The Husker, who had TPs in his inventory, decides to not TP. And as a result, he is now getting charged and he's in quite a bit of trouble. Gets skewered back and actually just goes down. So that sucks a little bit, right? Like, I actually dodged the RP with the intention of, like, protecting my team. Well, I mean, you want to dodge it anyway, because that guy is scary as all hell, right? But, like, I was kind of hoping that I could help them, like, save them. It's a shame the Haskell didn't quite make it. But we are definitely making a little bit of a comeback already, you know? Like, gold is less in their favor, experience as well. Right, it's coming down a little bit, and this is just like the power of a Naga. Like, I'm starting to farm so much, right? I'm starting to get money all around the map. The last hit score, you know, got 300 last hits at 35 minutes. Of course, I died a few times, so it's not as good as it could be, but it's still really solid, I think. So yeah, all around, you know, it's pretty decent. Send in those illusions. And this is where I can really, like, start farming super aggressively, you know. The illusions have 100% uptime at this point. I've got, lots and lots of AoE to farm with, right? Like, the creeps can't actually really kill the illusions anymore. All around, we are in a pretty good spot. This is really where you want to be at as Naga. This is when she is at her strongest. I'm still just kind of like using that method of illusion farming that I told you about earlier. This is, again, something I'm not good at micromanagement, and it works for me. Right, so it's really one of those things where it's just like... And yeah, I see the Omni Knight goes down. I get the creeps. There's no way they can catch up to me quickly enough. I use the sleep just in case the Barathum is charging me, and I TP home. Oh, well, not even home, actually, I go top. Right, but, yeah, sleep maybe a little bit prematurely. But at the same time, with the Octarine Core, it barely has any cooldown. Like, it really doesn't have a lot of cooldown at all. It protected me, just made sure I didn't get jumped by anything. I didn't really expect to get jumped, honestly, right? Because from their point of view, it just must seem like an impossible kill to get. So they're not even gonna go for it. And they didn't. But, better safe than sorry, right? Better make sure you're good instead of just guessing. And we lose the Mirana again. Yeah, this is really like a problem we have at this point. We're losing people left and right, constantly. Like, people are always dropping. And our problem we have is I want that ultimate ore, but I don't really have a safe way to get to the secret shop. I want to finish up my Manta Star. I'm not keeping for buyback. I think keeping for buyback at this point... I don't know, I was pretty confident in our position. I felt like we could hold, right? But not even just that. Like, if we can't hold, then they are probably at as much of, like, big enough of an advantage. But yeah, even if I have buyback, it probably won't matter. But yeah, mostly I just wanted my Manta Star because I was fairly confident in this game. I'm just like, I am not going to need buyback right now. Later on in the game, I do keep for buyback. But right now, I just wanted my Manta. You know, that kind of thinking. Wanted that additional fighting power. Because it is still a little bit overwhelming. It's mostly the Magnus. Like, he's just terrifying. Like, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? Like it's scary. This man is still ahead of me in net worth. Which, of course, he's got his Shockwave, he's got a Power, he's got a Battle Fury even. I mean, it's pretty easy for him to farm a lot. Well, still kind of terrifying. Wait, is this not the situation where I go for the Manta Star? Because I'm pretty sure I start going for the Manta Star. Maybe I did keep buyback. Not entirely sure. Might have been a later position where I decide to not keep. Or how much am I? Oh, no, I did keep for buyback. No, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. No, I did keep for buyback. So I wasn't as dumb last night. Because I really do actually think right now, like, looking at this moment, I should have kept for buyback. No, I was waiting for it. Like, I kept for buyback. I was just farming. And making sure that I can get the ultimate orb and the buyback. Just in case I need it. Yeah, I still have it, right? No? Okay, never mind. I guess I'm a double idiot, triple idiot, maximum idiot. Alright, no. Okay, so I do decide to go for the Manta style. Spirit Breaker dives in far too deep though, so that's the punch. Like, this is something I don't really understand. Like, I don't know why they went in so deep until I see this, right? I'm just like, these motherfuckers, they're just pushing the barracks. Right, like, that's what was going on. That's what was going on. They were just going for the barracks. They didn't care about doing anything else. That's why the Pacha and the Spirit Breaker dove in so deep. They just wanted the barracks. They distracted us, and they did actually get melees. Right, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing. It actually kind of worked. However, they lose their entire team for it, so it was not worth it at all. Alright, like, funnily enough, their strategy worked out. It just wasn't a very good strategy. But yeah, they do get barracks. I don't know. We come out ahead in that fight, I think. Like, even after losing a melee barracks, I honestly prefer losing a melee barracks and then killing the entire team than not getting any kills and keeping my melee barracks. In a game like this, I think that's actually better. Now, and you can see I'm starting to catch up to the Magnus here. But yeah, like, this is just kind of the Naga game plan, right? This is what you do. This is what you do every time. Now that I have my illusions, right? I even got more illusions, right? I'm just, like, farming all over the place. Where I'm sending these guys into every single lane, into every single creep camp I can find. Except right there, I screw up my micromanagement a little bit. But I sent them everywhere trying to get as powerful as I can, right? Just farming everything constantly grinding every single bit I can. Going through this jungle like it's nothing. You know? And that's the power of a Naga. Right, this is what she's good at. I'm pushing down every single lane at the same time. You can see, even though they have mega creeps, not mega creeps, but super creeps at the bottom lane. There aren't a lot of creeps on our side of the map, right? Constantly pushing them down, making it difficult for them to advance on our side at all. And I've almost managed to surpass the Magnus. That's the thing, right? Like, if I can ever get there, that I'm actually the most farmed hero on the map, we're looking at a pretty good situation, I think. Definitely looking at a pretty good situation. I also want to point out how scary the Magnus is again, because he does have a Daedalus MKB, like, Battle Fury. Like, this guy's nasty. They also have a Gyrocopter who isn't as strong, but definitely still powerful. You know, he's going for Maelstrom here. He's got an Ioscadi now. I don't really get the medallion. Like, that's something I don't really get the reason for, but, I mean, I guess if he wants it. But yeah, he's got an Ioscadi now, so this Gyrocopter is actually pretty threatening as well. And the second highest farmed hero on our team is the Omni Knight. And Omni Knight doesn't really have that much yet. Although I know he does actually have the Aghanims if he wants it, but he's keeping for buyback instead. And this is where we decide to go for a pretty risky play and just take Roshan. Right? I'm not in the pit. I'm just outside waiting for Magnus in case he wants to go for an RP. I'm also using these illusions to push down the mid. You know, kind of keep our enemies away. And then I spot him. They're up there. Alright, time to go. Spirit Breaker manages to run too fast. They don't actually get the net on him, but there he is. So I put the net on the Spirit Breaker. And we should be able to just secure this. Just fighting. The Laguna Blade comes out. Spirit Breaker goes down. I don't really deal that much damage, which is a little bit annoying, but oh well, what can you do? But yeah, Spirit Breaker is dead already. The, what's his face? Gyrocopter goes down, and then Magnus comes in again. He just does so much damage, but Husker already got the edges. I root up the Magnus and decide to... That's enough. I don't really want to engage in melee combat with that guy. Try to hunt down the Pudge, but he denies himself. Magnus goes down to the Husker. Which, honestly, like, after the root, I shouldn't be there. Right, like, the root lasts long enough that the Husker can just finish him, and I don't really need to do anything. And I decide to just TP into the mid and start pushing down this tower. And this is actually a pretty big deal, you know. I do want this tower so we can start killing the shrines. Also lets me break into the base and, like, you know, start being a little bit nasty with Naga Siren. Also, I finally managed to actually soar past the Magnus in terms of farm. Pudge is here. Pudge is actually just gonna die, but on the upside for the team, Pudge did buy them a lot of time, right? Nonetheless, we go and we start pushing down the barracks. Barracks should fall. Magnus is dead. He doesn't have buyback, right? He doesn't have anything. So the barracks do go down. And this is where I decide, nah man, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We can get more. We can get more. So we go bottom. We try pushing that. Alright, more illusions coming out. Our damage output is pretty high here. And we take the tower. Now this is where Magnus comes back alive. And I know how scary he is. So I tell my team, push the barracks, push the barracks, push the barracks. I'll keep them busy. And I do keep them busy. I start by TP as late as I can. Magnus gets there, but not quite. Not quite. And we get the bottom... Actually, no, that was our bottom range barracks goes down. But we get their melee barracks and we get their range barracks as well. This is actually the power of a replay right now. We can go back and look at that a little bit if you guys want to. So, from the Huskar's point of view, that kind of went like this, right? So, again, like, this is where I shout, go kill the barracks, go kill the barracks, right? Don't fight, kill the barracks, kill the barracks, kill the barracks. And they start working on it. And they get a lot of damage in like this, you know? Like, this was really, really significant. Their team decides to try and deal with me first, but they couldn't quite do it. I managed to get out. The barracks go down. They try to escape. This is where the Huskar and the Mirana activate the invisibility and manage to sneak out. So that ended up working out really well. In the meantime, the Lina goes down somewhere around here. That was kind of interesting. Goes down to the Spirit Breaker, I suppose. But yeah. And we lose the range barracks at the bottom, but we did get 2 sets of barracks there, and all of a sudden we're in the lead. Right? Like, we are in the lead. This is the first time in the entire game that we have managed to actually... take the lead, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. I go for a butterfly. I decide to go for the butterfly because I want some damage. Right, I just wanted additional damage output against really anybody. Earlier you saw me try to kill the gyrocopter by clicking on him and I didn't do any fucking damage. And that's just something I wasn't happy with. Right, it's just like, man, I should hit people harder. I'm Naga. This is what I do. So not getting that, like not, well, I don't know. I guess Naga isn't really known for being a great right clicker, right? That's not really her thing, I suppose. But like, I am the position 1 carry. I need to do more damage. I can't just rely on the Radiance. The Radiance is not enough. Just not enough damage output. So I go for the butterfly. Could have gone for the diffuser blade instead. I also considered a bunch of other options, right? I considered going for like a Skadi or a Heart. Maybe even a BKB, but in the end I thought, nah, you know what, Butterfly seems the most reasonable. Yeah, Magnus already got MKB, but Gyrocopter doesn't, Spirit Breaker doesn't, right, and it does work well with the illusions. The illusions get a lot of stats from it. It also helps with pushing, you know, towers also don't have True Strike, so... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Diffuser Blade would have been better. It's definitely something I'm willing to concede, that Diffuser Blade would have been better. Another thing that I think maybe would have been better is going for the Mirror Image Illusion over the 40 movement speed. But, like, I don't know, my thinking was just, well, they kill my illusions really easily anyway. They've got the Magus. This is great, by the way. This is my favorite. Did you guys see that? They use Fiend's Grip and RP on my illusion. Oh man, that's so funny. They got fucked up. I don't know, like, I think what they thought was going on, that those were Manta style illusions, which means there's only 2 of them, right? Because I was managing 2 of them in a pack, and then the last one I was micromanaging more accurately. So they thought that that last one was me. I didn't even play for that though, like, that wasn't actually intentional from my end, but fuck it. Boys, what do we say? That's right, we take those. Got a charge coming in. That's actually a little bit scary. I get jumped by the Barrow Room. I get jumped by the Pudge. We've got protection though from the Omni Knight. And yup, this is gonna keep us safe. This is what he's here for, right? You are safe now. We've got the Bane going down. Got the Gyrocopter fighting, but he doesn't really stand much of a chance. Pudge also dying, and we get 3 kills. Right, like, I'm just scary at this point. This is Naga. This is what she does, right? And it's not even just It's not even like I'm not a Valve. I've got 30,000 net worth, right? Like, I'm a terrifyingly powerful Naga. This is as strong as she gets. Well, actually, no, never mind. Naga gets even more powerful than this. That's what makes the hero so good, right? Naga's 6 slot is 6,000 gold items, right? Like, that's how insane this hero is. I really, really badly wanted this tower kill. This tower kill was super, super important to me. Oh my god, yeah. Right there, that was a problem. Almost died. BKB on the patch. I TP out. I can't fight with 400 life. I'm not willing to risk dying. It really sucks for my team that I abandoned them like this, though. But I really couldn't do anything. If I had stayed, I would have died. I fully stick by that decision. I needed to TP out, right? The only thing that I think I should maybe have done differently is I should have let my team know that I'm going home, right? I should have shouted TP, 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 right? Although, admittedly, that probably wouldn't have done anything because we had the same thing in earlier situations and that didn't really work out too well. But yeah, so a big thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep buyback, of course. Right, buyback is really, really valuable. At this point, if we don't have buyback, then we might as well just concede, right? Like, if you don't keep buyback in a 50-minute game that is this close, well, what are you doing? Right? So I'm keeping buyback. I do have a lot of surplus on buyback, though. Right, I got a lot of reliable gold. I got 5,000 surplus here. So that's pretty strong. And just kind of being annoying to the patch here. A big thing that I want, and this is what I'm going to start doing here, right? So I'm positioning myself on the top half of the map intentionally because I want that tower. The reason why I want that tower is because I want to start pushing down their base. I want to slowly grind away at their last tier 3 tower. I want to start grinding away at their top barracks. But I can't do that until I get that last tower because it's just not possible, right? Like, it's still vulnerable. However, the Illusions actually managed to secure it, which is pretty fucking awesome. Right, so that worked out really, really well. And I'm quite happy about that one. And this is where I kind of make a little bit of a mistake, I think. No, is it at this point? No, I think it's later. Yeah, right here I go for the Skadi. Because Skadi is pretty nice. And then fucking that asshole jumps me. Right? I'm just like, what the hell? What are you doing here? Well, we root him up and get RP'd. And this is where Magnus just turns it on. And holy fucking shit. 2 of my teammates go down immediately. I cancel my TP, and this is honestly, this was really risky, right? This is the one time where I have the notion, no, I want to go home, but I decide to help instead, and there's the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker tries to chase me down, I get healed up, but it's just not enough. He gets the kill. Right, this is really where my intuition of just like, no, you gotta go home. Like, this one time, I thought, nah, I'm not going home right now, it's unnecessary. We can't just get this kill really quick. Didn't quite end up working out, I should have gone home. Right, like, that's the thing. But, oh well. End up dying. I can still finish up my Skadi, you know, I have buyback if we need it. It's all fine. It's not really that big of a deal. Especially with the Magnus dying, we're still in good shape, but it definitely does suck. Like, that Magnus just did massive damage to our team in such a quick time frame. Right, so quick. It's insane. Oh, very spooky there. I definitely got spooked by that. Holy shit, I got spooked by that. Yeah. He's also sitting at 30,000 net worth, and that's definitely making the game a lot more even again. I get the Skadi because my thinking was just, hey, you know what? Like, Magnus is like the main culprit there. It's generally good against melee heroes. And I wanted survivability, but I also wanted fighting power. So I didn't want to go just straight hard, which was my other consideration. I wanted more HP at this point, but I also didn't want to just, like, go purely physical. So I decided to go for the item that I think is, like, a nice in-between, right? Like, that's always my thing, right? Whenever I feel like I want to fight better, but I also really want to be tanky, I get Skadi, right? Like, I get hard when I really want to be tanky, and I get probably Abyssal Blade when I'm like, I really want to fight better. But I get Skadi when I'm kind of like in between. Although, Abyssal Blade, never mind about that. Abyssal Blade is kind of like a different style of item, I guess. Right, but like, I get something that's pure damage usually when I want to fight better. And I get Skadi when I'm just like, I kind of want a little bit of both. So yeah, I'm getting charged here. But I actually see the Magnus. I'm like, huh, let's go and get that Magnus really quick. Luckily enough, I do cancel the charge with that as well. Sleep the Magnus, And... oh my god, he does so much damage. So I decided to just kind of like run away from him. Screw that shit. We've got the Omni Knight ultimate coming out. I'm just keeping him rooted. I'm like, dust, 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 dust. We don't have dust. Oh, there it is, but it's too late. Magnus ends up escaping. We get the Spur Breaker at least. And there's Magnus. And oh my fucking god, he does so much damage. Holy shit. I net him up again. And it is time to retreat. It is time to go home. I am not fighting that. I am not fighting that. But then I see a Bane, a greedy Bane in that. And I'm like, oh. Well, I feel like the illusions can actually probably get that guy, right? So I send the illusions in, have them work on the Bane, and the poor little fella goes down. There wasn't really much he could do. In the meantime, Magnus gets greedy. And he just kind of dies. He got quite greedy right there. Like, that was... oh, man. I mean, the thing is, like, you gotta understand, he's really feeling himself. And they just made a big comeback, right? Like, Magnus just made up, like, a 5,000 gold deficit by hitting, like, 4 times. Think about how insane that is, right? So I go ahead and start working on Roshan. I myself don't really have much use for the Aegis. Because, I don't know, I'm so confident, like, at this point. Like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, Magnus is super scary, but I can kind of survive. So, I am just going to give the Aegis to the Huskar, right? Because I think it's more important for the Huskar to also be alive than to just have me. I feel like what would happen if you give that to me is I end up dying last. I resurrect and I die again. And that's something I don't really want. And this is where I start doing nasty, mean Naga things. You know, I send in the illusions, start pushing down the tower, you know, just kind of apply some pressure that way. And this is one of my big mistakes in the game. This is something I'm super unhappy with. Like, this was terrible from my end. Because my team just jumped in the back, and I'm just like, I want this tower, though. Right? And then there's the Spirit Breaker, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. Okay, I'm gonna sleep the Spirit Breaker. Right? Send in my illusions. And push down that tower. But then I accidentally micromanage my hero over there. Like, oh fucking shit. I try to TP, but Magnus gets me. You know, I get caught out. I go down. That was so bad from my end. Like, everything I tried to do right there didn't work. It didn't even get the tower. Right? If I at least had gotten the tower, but didn't even get the fucking tower, right? And then the Huskar dies, and Omni Knight at least manages to escape. But that was just so bad from me. Like, honestly, I blame this entire teamfight loss on me. That was just me fucking up. And honestly, I think I had a decent idea there with, like, the micromanagement on illusions. But I just screwed up my micromanagement, sent in my hero, and I just completely disabled that plan. It also made me take forever to start TPing out. If I at least had gotten to TP home, I didn't even manage to do that. So yeah, and this is where they're coming in. Magnus is already pushing down our barracks, and yeah, you know, I'm starting to send in those illusions, trying to defend a little bit, and they do some damage, right? They definitely do, but our barracks, they go down. And honestly, at this point, I am fine conceding those barracks as long as it stays at that. So I throw down the sleep. We've got some of my team back, right? People are back alive, and I get slept, funnily enough, but yeah, root the gyrocopter. Gyrocopter should just die. He can't win a fight like that. In the meantime, the Potch in the background trying to fight it out. Now, this is, of course, terrifying because the Magnus is potentially around, and we don't really know if he's got RP. Alright, like, we're not sure on that. At least I'm not. So I'm trying to really play a keep away game. We managed to get the Spur Breaker as well. And Magnus up at the top. He wants this tower. Like, this guy's about as greedy as me. And he goes down. Well, not quite. He activates the BKB. This should definitely help him a bunch. But this is where the Skadi comes in. He doesn't get an opportunity to run. And just gets taken down. And this is where the Magnus disconnects. And I'm like, oh, well, this is low priority. This is why I don't record low priority. But don't worry. Magnus comes back. This game isn't quite over yet. It's really not. This is actually not done yet. This is gonna keep going for a little while longer. Yeah, Spur Breaker comes in, I just sleep him. You know, but then Gyrocopter's also around. I was trying to push down the Tower of the Illusions, but that didn't end up working since, again, Gyrocopter was also around, and it's just like, ugh. But yeah, the game is back to even. Like, you see, they made a little bit of a comeback back into it, you know, like, we made a bit of a comeback, and All around, everything is fine. Oh, fine, I don't know. For everybody, I guess. Nobody's really, like, super unhappy. Arrow flies in. The tower is almost dead, though, right? So my very grimy grinding down of the tower has definitely been working. And this is really engaged a bit early. I don't really know. Like, Magnus isn't here. So I root up the Spirit Breaker. I don't have my illusions ready. Huskar is fighting. Huskar is fighting strong, but it's not quite enough. Pudge goes down and somehow manages to deny himself again. Spirit Breaker now on the retreat out, but of course half the Skadi. Gonna lock him in place for long enough to kill him. And we push down the tower. We finally get there. Finally, after such a long grind, right? Start working on this, but Magnus just one-shots the Mirana. I'm like, well, fuck that shit. I'm out. Right? Like, fuck that. I am not fighting that Magnus right now. That was insane. Did you guys see that? He just one-shot the Mirana. Like, holy shit. I'm not going anywhere near that. That is not happening. So I TP home. And go get myself my bigger TP boots. I do have quite a bit of surplus, so I want to get Moonshot. And this is actually where I make another tiny mistake. It doesn't end up mattering. Because I immediately farm up the money again, but I accidentally buy one too many Hyperstones, which doesn't seem like a big deal because I can just sell it for full money, right? But actually considering how buyback reliable and unreliable gold works, and you gotta keep in mind, if you buy an item and then even if you sell it within the period where you're allowed to sell it for full price, you don't actually get reliable gold back. Like if you buy it with reliable gold and then you sell it again, you always get unreliable gold back no matter what. It's really more of a bug than a feature, I think. Like, I don't really know why that's in the game. I think it's a little bit dumb. But yeah, it's kind of annoying like that. But, oh well, what can you do, right? Alright, I get the top range barracks here, which is kind of great. You know, just casually got that one really quick. This is what Naga Siren does. Like, she's horrible like that, right? she is such a grimy character. But yeah, I'm just starting to spam those illusions in there. Hoping to maybe grind on those barracks a little bit. And yeah, they are really trying hard to defend against it, right? Even the Pudge ultimate coming out. But yeah, so again, right, I lost reliable gold there, which is kind of annoying. It's not a big deal because I'm very fast at farming. Like, at this point, I have buyback again. Well, not quite. I'm really close though, right? Like, I essentially have it. Like, I'm gonna get it through the gold ticks. So, I got buyback again, and I get jumped. And this is scary, right? Omni Knight casts his ultimate. I'm taking so much damage. I don't want to get hit by that Magnus. Super low, 600 HP. I sleep and TP home. As I mentioned, this happens quite a few times in this game. Something I definitely should have considered is like TPing to the illusions instead of going home. Right? TP to the illusions and then get the barracks. Definitely something I could have done. But I would have died, guaranteed, basically. But I don't know. Didn't go for it. Huskar goes down, and at this point, it's looking grim, right? Like, I was immediately coming back. I didn't even wait to, like, fully heal up in the fountain. I was just like, I need to go and help. So I immediately start sprinting back towards my team, but wasn't quite enough. So at this point, it's just me and the Omni Knight. Right? Just the two of us, and the entire enemy team is alive. Huskar got buyback, but, I mean, yeah, I guess he could come back in, but there is the Magnus. Alright, there's the Magnus. We see there here, I'm not even full HP, which is something I probably should have gone and healed up, but I put down to sleep. Put down to sleep, summon my illusions. I'm mostly sleeping them, waiting for more illusions, but, yeah, get purged out of that one. Net. The Bane goes down. Magnus cleaves down my illusions, but it's actually not really good enough. And with our massive slows, I'm just keeping him at bay. What I'm doing right now is I'm just keeping him busy, right? I don't really want to fight him straight up because I lose that fight. But I am just slowly getting Skadi hits in and keeping him busy, right? I'm making it so he doesn't really get an opportunity to fight. I'm just waiting for my team to help me out and help me finish the guy. And so he finally goes down. Magnus dies. We managed to root up the Spirit Breaker as well, and Spirit Breaker goes down as well. And then we see there's a Pudge, but we try to hunt him down. I don't think we catch him. No, the Pudge ends up being fine, but 4 heroes dead for the Radiant. And we are all alive. And I'm pretty strong, right? So I summon my illusions and walk into their base. I want to get that last barrack. I want to get the mega creeps. Potch is trying to fight me here, but the illusions actually just kind of kill him. So he ends up going down, and with the entire team dead, we finally, after 63 minutes, managed to win this game. I think at this point it's not really a spoiler, right? We did end up winning. That was a crazy game though, wasn't it? Like, that was really cool. Like, there were some cool moments in there that I really enjoyed. Like, I thought that last fight with like 2 against, what was that, 4 or 5 heroes, where we like slowly picked them apart one by one with the nets, and Omni Knight kind of keeping me going there, right? I liked the barrack push at the bottom, and all around, you know, there were some mistakes, of course, right? Didn't play perfectly or anything like that. Oh, it was a damn good game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Alright, like, let me know what you think about these kind of, like, replay commentaries. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I thought this was a really cool game. I just wanted to show it to you. But anyway, let me go ahead and do the giveaway. We're still gonna do that today. Alright, there's no reason to skip it. And then that's gonna be it for today. So, let me go ahead and just open this up really quick. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just wanted to show you the replay. So 41,000, 42,000 net worth at the end. You see this? This is indicative of a good game, isn't it? Like, that's kind of crazy. Player net worth. This is where I finally managed to overtake the Magnus. Like, this Magnus was doing so well. It was crazy. Our guy was scary. If he had played a little less greedy, he totally could have won this. Absolutely. Alright, so what are we giving away? How about this? The International 2016 Emoticon Pack. I personally don't care about emoticons, so this is literally just an emoticon pack that, you know, I had, but anyway. So, Star-Lord, you win. If you want that, feel free to send me a message, and I'm gonna give it to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.